Today we will be making this delicious Cuban bread from scratch. It's a recipe that I got online, so here we go. First, we're going to start with some warm water. It's 3/4 of a cup of warm water, and what's the equivalent of 1 package of yeast, which is going to be 2 teaspoons and a fourth, or a teaspoon, whatever it is, like 2 1/4 teaspoon. And then we're also going to be adding in 2 teaspoons of sugar after the yeast. And we're going to mix it well to get it all incorporated. Here I'm just getting the sugar opened up. I didn't have it ready. And we put in the 2, and then we're going to be mixing it together with, I bought that fancy spatula for the bread. I love it. It's been the best thing. I used to use a wooden spoon, and I have no regrets on buying this thing. It is amazing. It's so good and easy to clean. So here we had let it rest for 15 minutes, and this is what it looks like after 15 minutes. And after the 15 minutes, we're going to start incorporating the lard. I do melt the lard a little bit in the microwave so it's easier to mix. I don't know if you're supposed to do that. The instructions didn't say it, but I do it anyways. So I melted it in the oven, so like maybe a total of 40 seconds. And then I did 20 seconds, and then I did 20 more seconds. And it was 3 tablespoons of lard, and this is 2 teaspoons of salt. And then we're going to mix this together. I believe, I'm going to add 1 cup of the flour first, and we're going to mix it together. So 1 cup of flour. And then we're going to mix it with that bread whisk. I don't know what it's called, but I think it's like a bread whisk. I love that thing. So we're going to use that to incorporate the ingredients that we have in the bowl. Just mix it all up. I was reading the recipe here. This is a starter I made the night before. It's half a cup of flour, half a cup of warm water, and half a teaspoon of yeast. And you leave that overnight in the fridge. And then the next day you use it. And it was half a cup of warm water. And then you incorporate it with the mixture you were just doing. So we get that all mixed up together. And then we're going to add, the total recipe says up to 3 cups. So here I'm going to add, since I had added 1 cup already, we're going to add in 1.5 cups, because we have to leave a half a cup in case you need more. And I do end up using almost the other half that's left at the end. So I think I used about half of the half, or almost half. I can't remember, but I used almost all of it. And here I am. I threw the dough onto the clean surface that I floured, and I'm just mixing, incorporating it better with the hands, because after a point the little whisk thingy doesn't help as good because it's too thick. So you have to knead it with your hands. I've never tried using my KitchenAid. I might, but I just do it with my hands. And I just keep incorporating and kneading till everything gets all into one nice smooth ball. So I just keep kneading it, and I'll be adding some flour as I go. There you go. So I'm adding some more flour because it's starting to get too sticky. And I'll keep doing that till it's time to put it into the bowl with some olive oil. I used olive oil. The recipe said to use vegetable oil, but I just use olive oil. So here I'm getting it ready. It's already at the consistency that I want it. And I'm going to put it in a bowl that's already got the olive oil on it, and I'm going to cover it with a damp towel. Here I was getting it, so I just cover it with a damp towel. It goes into the oven, not on, I put it in the oven to proof for 2 hours to rise, and I leave the light on to help it rise. So this is after 2 hours. It doubled in size, which is what you want. So it goes, and we're going to be turning it over onto the counter because we have to shape it. I do need it a little bit more, but I don't remember if the recipe said to do it or not. I just do it anyways. So we're going to want to flatten it down. It says a 1/2 inch thick and 12 inches the longest, in the shape of a rectangle, 12 inches the longest way. And then you're going to divide it into 2. So you're going to get 2 loaves out of this recipe that I got from Google. I can't remember who had posted it. I just Googled Cuban bread recipe, and this is the one that I got. So I'm trying to shape it into a rectangle, and then I'll be separating it once I have it shaped. I love making bread. It's so good, like just to do it fresh at home. It is time consuming, but it's delicious. So here I'm just trying to stretch it out without breaking it or anything. So I'm just massaging it a little bit to get it stretched out. Trying to get it as fast as I can, but without messing it up. So I had stretched it out already here. I skipped through because it was taking too long, but this is 1 loaf already, about 12 inches long. And then you have to roll it really tight, is what the recipe says. So that's what I was trying to do, roll it really tight. And it says to roll it skinny. So that's why they look so scrawny, but they are going to rise again. So we get a parchment lined baking sheet, and you put some cornmeal. It's a tablespoon of cornmeal on the baking sheet. I'll show that in the next clip. But here I'm just trying to shape them to keep them as straight as possible. And this is the parchment lined baking sheet with the cornmeal on top of it. I just spread it out so I can fit both of them onto that one big pan that I have. So at the camera angle, you couldn't see when I put the first loaf, but that's the second loaf. And then I just keep trying to shape it to keep it as straight as possible. So then you cover it with this towel is not damp. This is a dry towel, and it goes in for 2 hours. Not to bake, just to rise. So I leave the light on to help make some heat. And this is how big they got after they rose for 2 hours. And I have that knife to cut the score down the middle of the bread. So it's like you don't go in too deep. It says like 1/4 of an inch. So I just do a small line. I don't want my bread to deflate. I've been having issues that I was cutting it too deep, and the bread was just deflating. It was so flat. But this time they did keep enough height, so I'm happy with the way it came out. On the recipe, it said to lightly dust some flour on top, so that's what I did. And then it says to spray it with some water, so I bought a water bottle to spray just for the bread. Like, it will only have water, so I spray water all over the place. It doesn't say how much, so I was just spraying it all over the place. And then this is how it looks when it comes out of the oven. You bake it at 400 for 20 to 25 minutes, depending your oven. But this is how it turns out.